Welcome back. Last episode, we saw the union of King Shanthanu and goddess Ganga. Having married Ganga, Shanthanu was so delighted. He pleasured with her as he desired. The divine Ganga, who courses the three worlds, assumed a beautiful and radiant human form and lived happily as an obedient wife to Shanthanu. And he was extremely pleased with her conduct, beauty, generosity, qualities, and secret art of love. The king Shanthanu was so addicted to desire and the qualities of a supreme wife, with many years, seasons, months passed by without him being aware of it. Then finally, first child was born. Shanthanu was so happy and he organized a grand event to welcome his child. But to his great shock, Ganga killed that child by throwing the child into a Ganga river, as per a promise made to divine Vasus, and Ganga told Shanthanu that this is for your own good. Shanthanu, remembering the promise, that is, refrained from asking her anything. King Shanthanu cannot able to do anything more than staring at her with great emotions. Same thing happened for next 7 children. King Shanthanu was so perplexed and become helpless. When the 8th son was born, and she seemed to be smiling at him, but the king, who desired a son, miserably told her, "Do not kill him. Who are you? Who do you belong to? Why do you kill your own sons? As a murderer of your sons, you are committing a great sin. O evil one, do not commit this sin." For that, Ganga replied, "Since you desire a son, I will not kill this son. You will become the supreme father of a son. But following our agreement, my stay here has come to an end. I am Ganga, the daughter of Jaunu and worshipped by a large number of Maharishis. I have lived with you so far to accomplish the wishes of the gods." These were the 8 Vasus, immensely fortunate and immensely energetic gods. As a result of a curse imposed by sage Vashishta, they had to be born in a human form. There was no better father than you on earth, and no human mother in this world who could equal me. Therefore, I assumed human form to become their mother. By becoming the father of the 8 Vasus, you have conquered the eternal worlds. My agreement with the divine Vasus was that I should free them from the human birth as soon as each was born. Now, as per your wish, I will go with our son and rear him with great love, and I will give back your son as an accomplished warrior and a scholar of scriptures." Saying this, she took his son with her. That son of Shanthanu came to be known under 2 names, Devavrata and Gangaya. After this incident, with a sorrow in his heart, Shanthanu returned to his own capital, Hastinapura. Then several years gone. One day, once, when he had shot a deer in a forest, King Shanthanu followed it along the banks of a river Ganga. He saw that the waters of Bhagirathi river had become shallow. On seeing this, Shanthanu was so concerned and wondered, why does this best of rivers not flow the way it used to do earlier? While trying to determine the reason, the great-souled one saw a large youth who was beautiful and handsome of face. He was like a god, Purandara himself. He had divine weapons and a bow in his hand. That young youth, using his sharp arrows, he had stemmed the flow of river Ganga. On witnessing the wonderful and superhuman feat of checking the Ganga's course with arrows, the king was astounded. Shanthanu had seen his son only once at the time of the birth, Therefore, despite being wise, he did not have sufficient recollection to recognize his own son. As soon as he saw his father, the youth created a delusion through his powers and instantly disappeared. When King Shanthanu witnessed this event, he found out that the youth is his own son. Suddenly, after some time, Ganga appeared and introduced his own son Devavrata to Shanthanu. Devavrata was greatly valorous and skillful in weapon usage. He got his scriptural knowledge from sage Vashishta and weapon usage from Parasurama. Leaving the Devavrata with his father, Ganga left the place. Shanthanu happily accepted his son and returned to his capital. Shanthanu instated his great-souled son Devavrata, who had all the qualities, and he honored him as an heir apparent, a future king. Several days went. One day, Shanthanu went along the Yamuna river. While he was wandering around, he inhaled an extremely sweet fragrance that came from an unknown direction. Searching for the cause, he saw a lady from a fisherman tribe who was as beautiful as a goddess. He was get surprised, as sweet as fragrance from a fisherman tribe. Her name was Satyavati. Having seen her beauty and sweetness equal to that of a goddess and inhaled her fragrance, King Shanthanu desired the lady from the fisherman tribe. Shanthanu went to her father and asked him to give her to him. But her father demanded the throne of Hastinapura to the child born to Satyavati, not the heir Devavrata, who was the first heir. Though Shanthanu was dejected on hearing the demand, Shanthanu was unwilling to grant this assurance to the fisherman. Then, in sorrow, Shanthanu returned to Hastinapura. Somehow, Devavrata came to know about this incident, and he went directly to fisherman to convince. Devavrata asked the fisherman, "Please give your daughter to my father as per his desires." But that fisherman stood in his demand and refused. Finally, Devavrata made up his mind and promised that the son who will be born from Satyavati will be the king, and I will never attain the throne in my lifetime. Hearing this, in reply, fisherman asked about the sons who will be born to Devavrata. Devavrata confidently taken another vow that he will be a brahmachari and will not marry in his lifetime. Hearing the vows, fisherman was surprised and delighted and accepted to give his daughter to King Shanthanu. The skies, devas, apsaras, gods and rishis rained down the flowers over Devavrata and named him Bhishma. Bhishma made the beautiful lady Satyavati ascend the chariot and arriving in Hastinapura. Devavrata told Shanthanu all that had happened. Though Shanthanu was worried about the vows as it affects his son's life, witnessing the feat accomplished by Bhishma, his father Shanthanu was pleased and granted him the boon that he would only die when he himself so willed. The marriage between Shanthanu and Satyavati happened grandly, and they begot a couple of children named Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. That's it with this episode. See you in the next episode with more interesting plots. Thank you.